In this session, we are going to present you about teaching through assignments. So, this session mainly focuses on the assignments which are the teaching tools in the distance education system. So, friends, in this session mainly I will touch upon what is the role of the assignments in our distance teaching system, and why at all we have assignment responses and assignments in our distance teaching system, and what is the purpose of assignments in distance education system. The basic purpose of assignment is teaching. It is, as Holmberg says, the purpose of assignment is distance is which covers a task of teaching. So, it has two functions mainly, one is instructional function and another one is the pedagogical function. When we say about how the teaching learning process occurs with the help of assignments, then it covers your instructional system, that is teaching and learning at a distance. And when we say how it activates the learner, it motivates the learner, and also it helps the learner to know his or her own learning progress, then it has pedagogical purpose. So, before that, as the title says, teaching through assignments. So, a question may come to your mind. Teaching occurs mainly in the classroom situation, but how teaching occurs in the distance level, at a distance? That is the crux of this session mainly. So, before going to discuss about the assignment in detail, let me focus upon the two-way communication at a distance, or how assignments helps for two-way communication or helps for distance teaching. Let me share with you in a few words. So, here friends, in the classroom situation or in conventional classrooms, mainly the communication is between the teacher and the learners who are present in the face-to-face situation or within the classrooms. So, when the teacher speaks, the learner learns. So, teaching and learning, or the interaction between the teacher and learner, takes place within the classroom or in a face-to-face situation. But here in the distance teaching system, the teacher and learner, they are physically separated from each other, but the two-way communication takes place at a distance. So, how two-way communication takes place at a distance? There must be certain medium, and thus there must be certain tools, or there must be certain vehicle which facilitates the process. So, the tool is our assignments. And before going to say a few words about the assignment, let me share with you what are the different types of communication takes place in the distance teaching system, that is the real communication and the simulated communication. As you all know, real communication means writing on the assignment responses, writing the tutor comments, writing the global comments on the assignment responses, writing letters to the distance learner, then talking through telephone, and also talking through the teleconference situation. These are all real communication takes place between the learner and the distance teacher. Sometime also we have the counseling session where there is face-to-face communication between the distance teacher and the learner. But simulated, and the other part of communication is that the other type of communication is the simulated communication, where the learning or the communication takes place between the textbook and the learner. So, here when the learner goes through the prepackaged material, then the learner interacts with the text material, that is one form of guided didactic conversation. So, our conversational style of presenting the text material helps the learner to interact with the text material, printed text material, and that is the form we can say that guided didactic conversation. But in this session mainly we will focus upon the real communication which takes place through the assignment responses, and by giving comments on that assignment responses. When the distance teacher interacts with the learner at a distance, then communication, two-way communication takes place. So the vehicle for two-way communication at a distance is our assignments. So the purpose of this session is to acquaint you with this vehicle, that is the assignment, and how the learner while going through the tutor comments interacts with the comments and comes to certain points and can raise certain questions, again can communicate with the distant tutor through the letters, through the telephones, then it becomes the two-way communication. So here we can say that yes, two-way communication is possible at a distance, that is through the assignment responses and by commenting on the assignments. One. Second, two-way communication is possible by talking to the learner through the telephone, and also two-way communication is also possible by writing comments on the tutor marked assignments. So our main purpose of this session is to focus upon the real two-way communication that takes place through tutor comments, and what are the research evidence that says that yes, two-way communication is possible with through these assignments and by writing the comments to the learners. So before going to discuss about the assignments and assignment responses, let me share with you what are the different levels of two-way communication. The three levels of communication are academic level, personal level and supplemental level. So when we say about the academic level, then you see it is mainly about the courses or about our blogs, about our print materials, about our audio video programs. So when the learner asks certain questions pertaining to the courses, pertaining to the audio video programs, then it refers to the academic communication, where the interaction between the learner and the tutor who are physically separated takes place through the comments. Suppose the learner asks about certain difficult points which has been covered in certain section, maybe section 3.4 of block 2 of PS 312, then when the distant tutor clarifies the doubts through the letters or through teleconference session or through audio or through video material or through the assignment comments, then it refers to the real communication between the tutor and the learner. So with this, what happens, there is certain types of academic communication that takes place between the tutor and the learner, and here what happens, the institution which dispatches the prepackaged material to the learner goes through the materials, and when the learner answers to the assignment questions which are provided by the institution, and when the learner submit the institution the assignments to the institutions or the supporting institution, and when the tutor goes through the assignments and reads it, clarifies the misunderstanding pertaining to a course, then academic communication takes place. So academic communication takes place between the teacher and the learner when the learner sends the tutor marked assignment to the learner, to the institution or to the tutor, and the tutor, when he or she reads the assignment responses, comments on the learner's presentation, comments on the assignment responses and clarifies the misunderstanding pertaining to a certain point or a concept or a theme, and also clarifies the doubt on the assignment responses, and also explain certain main points on the assignment responses, then two-way communication takes place between the teacher and between the distance teacher and the learner. That is one type of academic communication. So here mainly academic communication takes place which are pertaining to the courses or blocks or the programs. Then comes the second level of two-way communication, that is the personal level of communication. Our learners are from different heterogeneous groups. So, when these learners ask certain questions which are not related to the course or not related to the program, but related to their teaching task or but related to their personal difficulties, then it covers the personal level of communication. So, our distance learner, they come from various socio-economic backgrounds and they are having different types of teaching experiences, different types of learning experiences, and they are the adult learners, they come from different social background and they, due to their employment background also, they have certain experiences of their own. Sometime learner may also deviate from this type of communication by saying certain irrelevant by writing or by raising certain irrelevant issues, such as just I am going through certain irrelevant or certain not so important comments pertaining to the personal level of communication, where you will see more flattery on the presentation of the learner. Then you can say that yes, what type of comments sometime we may come across, or as a distance educator also you may come across this type of comment. Suppose a learner writes to you, "Dear teacher, you are so good, intelligent and dedicated, and I can't stop writing this corresponding and appreciating to you. I was so thrilled to go through your comments which are so scholarly and which are so intelligent type, and I can't think a better teacher or better distance teacher than you, and I am sure you can be the best leader and caretaker of the distance education system of our country through your lighthouse of knowledge and perseverance." So, when a learner writes this type of comment, sometimes we feel very sad, and this does not communicate any sense or any meaning to the distance tutor or to the institution or pertaining to the academic level or to the personal level, because it is very personal level and the learner writes it just to satisfy his or her ego or satisfy the teacher, distant tutor. But this type of comments can be taken very carefully and can be also handled very carefully by the distant tutor, and the distant tutor may discourage by this type of comments by writing some personal note to the distance learner. So, this type of two-way personal communication also takes place when a learner writes this type of comments. Sometime you may receive comments like this: "I could not submit the fourth set of 2 assignments in time. Through the previous sets were submitted in time. By now I have also got the comments written by you, but I could not submit it due to my bad health." So, when a learner asks this type of when a learner writes this type of personal letters to a distance teacher, then the distance teacher has to be very sympathetically and very carefully deal with this type of comments. So, you can see the difference between the first type of comment where the learner tries to flatter the distant teacher, and in the second type of comment which I read before you, that is where the learner really puts his or her own problem, and with this you can see that how two-way personal communication takes place between the distance tutor and the learner. Then comes the supplemental level. So, supplemental level, sometime you see when we say about this comments, then we say that we mainly focus upon the teaching point. From the teaching point of view, we see the how these comments are written to you. So, whenever we write the tutor comments, we say that yes, these comments should be teaching type comments, this should be constructive comments, and this should be also positive comments. So, when we say about the teaching type comments and constructive comments, then also sometimes the learner may need some supplementary guidance from the distant teacher. For example, I am reading before you a comment written by a distance teacher that this is fine. The comment says this is fine. However, as the second group stressed on the learner, the former group highlighted the human aspect of teaching, that is the teacher. So when the learner writes about the tutor comments or what is the role of tutor comments in a assignment, then when the distant teacher says about this is fine, yes, you are saying about the interaction between the distant teacher and the learner, yes, there is human element is possible or human support is essential. But if you will focus upon this particular type of comment by saying certain research studies, then it will be very helpful for the learner. Suppose instead of saying about the human element in the two-way communication, suppose you could have said that yes, Holmberg also and Barth, both Holmberg and Barth, they emphasized upon the presence of human element in the distance education system. They said yes, two-way communication also is possible in the distance education system when the learner submit the assignment responses to the institution or to the distance teacher. But when Moore and Vademir, they described about the learner's freedom and autonomy, but Holmberg and Barth, they emphasized on the two-way communication, and also by providing certain supplementary supplement type of comments on the assignment responses, you can say that yes. Stewart also did one research study, and Stewart also said, John Stewart, he says also about the two-way communication, and he says yes, assignment responses helps the learner to interact with the distance teacher after going through the comments provided by the distance tutor on the assignment responses. So here mainly I shared with you the three levels of two-way communication. One is the academic level, which is pertaining to your courses, and another one is the personal level, where I quoted you two types of examples before you, and how the second type of example where the learner emphasizes his or her own problem about the submission of the assignments, about the difficulty level of the content of the materials, and about how to go about submitting the assignment, then that is the personal level of communication. Then coming to the supplemental level, where you can provide some extra materials or extra teaching points to the distance learner by giving certain teaching points on the assignment responses, then it is known as the supplemental level of communication. So this is about the level of communication, two-way communication, which takes place between the distance tutor and the learner who interact at a distance. So two-way communication is possible through assignments, and these are the vehicles or tools for two-way communication at a distance. Then comes the what is an assignment and what is an assignment response. This type of question I am expecting from you. The main difference between the assignment and assignment response, this is a simple question. What is an assignment and what is an assignment response? So till now I was sharing with you that assignments are the vehicle or tools for two-way communication at a distance. Unlike the conventional system or in the classroom situation, two-way communication where takes place at a face-to-face, here also at a distance two-way communication is possible, which is due to through the assignment or due to the assignment. So what is an assignment? An assignment is an important device or a teaching tool through which two-way communication takes place in distance education system. It is a learning task to be performed by the distance learner, or it is an academic exercise which has to be performed by the distance learner, or in a simple way we can say assignments are a set of academic exercises or a set of questions which are posed to the distance learner to perform, to be performed by the distance learner at a distance. So, assignments are the learning task or academic exercises to be performed by the distance learners. Then comes the assignment responses. When a learner, after going through the assignment and after going to the course content provided by the distance institution, performs a task or a learning task, then it is called as an assignment response, or here you can say that assignment responses. I am sharing with you that assignment responses, these are the writing, these you can see from the display which I am sharing with you, that here we have the global comment sheet, here at the left hand margin we have the grades or space for assessment, and here how it is presented. Then you can see how a learner has provided the answer of one assignment and how the margins are left for writing the tutor comments, where by going to the tutor comments the learner can interact with the distance teacher. So, with this I can again emphasize that yes, assignments are the learning tasks or academic exercises performed by the distance learners, and these are the vehicles for two-way communication. Assignment responses are the answers or responses provided by the distance learners after going through the assignments and after going through the content presented in the prepackaged material provided by the distance education institution, and when it is submitted to the study centers or to the regional center or to the supported institution, then it is provided or it is given to the distance tutor for commenting. When the tutor comments on the assignments, then or when the tutor provides the comments and the grades after going through the assignment or after reading the assignments, then the learner, the distance teacher, he clarifies the doubts, he clarifies the misunderstandings provided by the distance learner after going through the content provided in the course material. Then also sometime the distance tutor explains certain points and also provides certain supplementary comments at the margins, and after going through the whole assignment, when the distance teacher provides the global comment and justifies the grade or marks provided by himself or herself, then it is called as the global comment sheet, which also helps the learner to go through the global comment sheet and also to go through the local comment marginal comments and to interact with the teacher or the distance teacher. So, here you see, when the learner goes through the comments provided by the distant tutor, and if he or she disagrees with the points, teaching points, can again write back to the learner by saying that yes teacher, I am not convinced with this type of points which you have raised at the margin of this assignment, please clarify this. Again the teacher clarifies it by answering the queries or questions provided by the learner. You see how the cycling process goes on. When the teacher reads the assignment, provides the comments. When the learner reads the comments and provides again the questions to the and puts questions to the distance teacher, that he or she how she disagrees with the point, and sometime also the distance learner also says that yes, I do agree with this type of point and you could have also provided me good grade by saying this. So, with this you can say that yes, assignments have certain purposes, and basic purposes are, that is they are having the teaching task. These assignments, they have teaching functions or teaching tasks which are carried out at a distance between the distant teacher and the learner. So, here you see why assignments assignments in our distance teaching system and why assignment responses, and why to assess the assignment responses. So when I say about why assignment responses, there are 3 to 4 points I have listed here. It enables the learner to ensure that they have learnt what they were supposed to learn from the course materials provided by the distance education institution, or they were supposed to learn from the course materials. So it helps the learner to go through the course materials. So when we provide assignments to the distance learners, then the distance learners, they open the materials, and also they go through the course materials. They start to writing the assignments, they start writing the assignment responses. So by this we can say that yes, when the learner interacts with the course material, then this is one type of simulated communication takes place between the text materials and between the learner. And when the learner writes the assignment responses and submits to the distance teacher, and the distance teacher gives the comment, then after going to the comment, that is real communication takes place between the distance teacher and the learner. So in one way, the point 1 says that yes, assignments enable the distance learner to go through the course materials and to read the course materials thoroughly. Second, two-way communication takes place through the medium of assignment responses, which I have already said with you. Third point says comments written by a counselor on assignment responses help the learner to sustain his or her interest to learn in learning, and it motivates the learner, it activates the learner, and it facilitates learning. How it motivates the learner, how it facilitates teaching learning process or teaching learning transaction in distance education system, and how it activates the learner. Suppose a learner who is busy in his day to day commitments, and due to his busy schedule and busy employment, he or she is not able to open the course material. But when the deadline for submission of the assignment comes, then immediately the learner goes through the course material. So it is one type of motivation which guides the learner to open the material and to go through the course material carefully and also thoroughly. And also when we provide instruction in our assignment by saying that you please go through blocks 1 and 2 for writing this assignment, identify the components or presented in this particular question or in this assignment, and write the assignment within 750 words. By saying this, you are providing instruction to the learner and you are also communicating with the distance learner. Second point, whenever you say to the learner you write this assignment in your own words, then what happens, whenever you see or assess these assignment responses, you are assessing the personal style of the learner, you are assessing the learning style of the learner, you are assessing the learner's progress in the course material. So this is another way of communicating, two-way communication with the learner. Then another point, when we say that yes, when you are saying the learner or when you are instructing through the assignment to the learner, do not use the bookish language or do not just use the verbatim of the course materials while writing the assignment responses. But whenever you are presenting any reference materials or whenever you are quoting the course material, please acknowledge it at the end of the presentation of your assignment. Then also this is another way of communicating to the distance learner. So here you see, through assignments we provide instruction to the distance learner at the beginning before writing the assignments, where you say that yes, don't use the bookish language whatever you are reading from the material, rather you try to understand the content material and present these materials in your own words. By saying this way, you are interacting with the learner and you are saying to the learner that they have to present the assignment response in their own words, and also there are word limits. By saying this, you are enabling the learner to present the content in a precise way as per the understanding level of the learner. Then it facilitate learning. When the learner reads the component of the assignment questions and tries to understand the content material which are presented in the text, then the learner is able to understand what is presented in the material, that indirectly facilitates learning. So, in this way what also happens, simulated communication also takes place, that is guided didactic interaction or communication takes place between the learner and the text, when the learner for completing one assignment goes through the content material. So, this way we can say that assignment responses help the enable the learner to go through the content material, it activates the learning process, it facilitates learning, and it motivates the learner to complete a course, and also it helps the distance learner to understand the material and to read the material carefully. Then comes the level of two-way communication, already I have said with you. Then the different types of tutor comments which we provide, which as a distance teacher or as a distance tutor we provide while going through the assignment responses. So, coming to the different types of comments which we provide in our assignments, they are the mainly positive comments, constructive comments, global comments, and personal comments. So, when we say about the positive comments, then you say that while going through the assignment responses, when a distance tutor says that yes, you are in right direction and you have presented the content adequately and your presentation is very precise, this is the positive comment. Coming to the constructive comment which a distance teacher can provide while going through the assignment response is that after going through the comment, when you say that you should have provided a few points pertaining to the role of human elements in distance education. Suppose your assignment question says that discuss the role of human element in distance teaching. Suppose a learner writes one or two paragraphs about what is the role of human element, what is counseling session, how it helps the face to face counseling, what is assignment, how it helps for two-way communication. After going through the paragraph, suppose you think as a distance tutor there is certain points to be added, then you should write there that you could have focused upon the research studies carried out by John Bath and Holmberg pertaining to assignment responses, and you could have focused upon the how two-way communication is enhanced by these assignments, which are the studies mainly done by Holmberg 2001. Also you can refer to it and you can provide it. Then by saying about the research studies carried out by Holmberg 2001, where you say about that you could have provided this type of research studies in support of your assignment, then this is your constructive comment you are providing to the learner. Then comes our global comment. As I have shown you that after writing the marginal comments, basing on the whole assignment, basing on the total total marginal comments, when a distance teacher writes the global comments pertaining to the whole assignment response, then it's referred to the global comment, which is provided in a separate sheet attached to the assignment responses, which is sent to the distance learner. So, here the global comment says about the what is the real communication that takes place between the distance teacher and the learner through the global comment when the learner goes to the global comment sheet. Here you can say that it is very good that you have focused upon all the teaching points pertaining to this particular assignment, such as human element, about the distance education and about the research studies. Then here also your grade is B or C because you haven't included the research studies conducted in the recent area, that is why your grade is B. But you will certainly improve upon this. When you are saying that you will certainly improve upon the future assignment, when you will read the assignments carefully and read the materials carefully and answer these assignments in a very systematic and precise way, then it is about justifying the grade in the on the global comment sheet. So, these are the different types of comments which we can write and which are the real means for two-way communication in our distance teaching system. Then comes the personal comment. While going through the assignment also, sometimes you may see incomplete assignments. There you can personally say that I hope that due to your busy schedule you couldn't complete this assignment. So, this is my personal request to you, next time before sending the assignment response, please go through the assignment response or check the assignment response before submitting it to the evaluation division or to the supporting institution or to the study center or to the distance tutor. By saying this types of tutor comments, we really communicate with the distance learner who are at a distance, and by this way we can break the barrier between the distance tutor and the learner. Then comes the other point, that how the grades and percentage. Sometimes the learner may ask certain questions pertaining to the grades and percentages. By interacting with this type, by asking this type of question, what is the point grade, what is the percentage for A grade and what is the percentage for B grade which you have provided to me, there if as a distance teacher you are clear, you are very clear about the qualitative level of the letter grade, about the point grade, about the percentage, then it will really help you to communicate with your distance learner. So, this is about the two-way communication which takes place through the assignments. And before completing this session, I would like to focus upon a few research studies conducted recently by certain distance educators, which will help you to really understand why at all assignments are essential in our distance teaching, why how two-way communication is possible through these assignments. So, with this I can share a few research studies conducted by Kelly in 1982 and Thorpe in 1988. They said yes, there is much evidence of students' appreciation of the interaction between the student and tutors after going through the tutor comments. And also in 2000, Stevenson and Stevenson, he has said that yes, the expectation of the students are more from the tutors when they go through these tutor comments. So, what are their expectations and what are the role of the distant tutor also, that are also done carried out, that are studied by the by certain researchers, which are, you can say that yes, Gaskell and Simpson in 2000 they have studied the expectations of the open university tutors about the students' wishes and compared these expectations with the wishes actually expressed by the student themselves. And they said that yes, students want tutors who know the subject well, who are friendly and approachable, then who run very good counseling sessions and who are able to encourage the learner to develop their study skills through these assignments, and who return the assignments promptly and who also understands their problems. And by going through this type of research studies also we can say that yes, two-way communication is really possible through these assignments. So, the research study carried out by Gaskell and Simpson in 2000 pertaining to the distance education system says yes, when we go through the assignments and when we read the assignment responses, we interact with the distance learner who are at a distance, so that the relationship between the learner and the distant teacher is established in a proper way. Thank you very much.